Welcome back to another episode of Psycosmos. This is Professor Matt. Today we're going to be talking about what supports the sacred secretion process. This is going to be a great video, so please like, subscribe, comment down below what it is that you think has helped you in your sacred secretion process. Do you have something that kind of goes outside the lines of this video? I'd love to hear about it. I love hearing. Without further ado, let's just dive right in. This is actually the second time I'm making this video today, because I guess my microphone's not picking up very well. So if this video has issues, just drop a comment down below and let me know. You know, the last video I made, it was like 30 minutes long, and you couldn't hear anything I was saying in my mic. I've been having a lot of trouble with this. I don't know why. But anyway, so what are the big things that we need to know for the sacred secretion process? Number one, deep sleep. This is probably the most important. A lot of people overlook this, but sleep is definitely crucial. Very, very important for this process. It's how our CSF modulators in our brain and in our, other biochemical signatures in our body kind of activate and heighten during sleep, and puts our body into, parasympathetic rest and digest mode for this body, for your body in this process to accentuate. The other thing you need is emotional clarity, nervous system repair, mitochondrial health, and activity. Okay, so the core biochemicals that we need. First and foremost, tryptophan is a pretty good one, or anything that kind of contributes to serotonin and melatonin. Sources for this would be something like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, cacao, turkey, and eggs. Now, I just want to make this point. Veganism, I think that if you're vegan, or if you've got a weird or abnormal diet, I shouldn't say weird, I'll say abnormal, like carnivore diet or anything like that, then veganism is, I think, kind of one of these psyopy things, as well as carnivore diet. Like anything that's too extreme, I don't think is good for you. And I think that it depends a lot of things on like blood type, genetic level, your zodiac signs, your cell salt signatures, etc. A lot of that has to deal with what your body makes deficiencies in, and also what it makes too many, like what it supplements. Your body. There might be, your body might be making more biochemicals than you think in certain regards, right? So that is one of the things that you have to fully understand. You have to know your body. You have to know what you're deficient in, what you have a surplus of within the body. Now, eggs are a great source for tryptophan. In fact, one egg is a lot more than pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. So I advise, having a very balanced diet. I always have. And it's true that you should try to fast or stay very light during your sacred secretion process, but you can still eat food. It's not like you have to fast, especially if you're female. Women have a much harder time fasting than we do. So just keep that in mind. And another thing to keep in mind is when it comes to the food, your body, it can house, it can handle eating things like meat, cheeses, things like that. And raw dairy and a lot of other things. Again, none of this is medical advice, right? I'm not giving you guys medical advice or clinical advice, but things like eggs, raw dairy, and a lot of things like that can really help this process. Women are now discovering, if you eat a nice rare steak, but a couple days before your menstrual cycle, that your menstruation ends a lot easier, because your body has all the nutrients that it needs. Doesn't bleed as much because you have a lot of iron and stuff like that in the blood. So they're discovering, a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women are discovering that steak is really helpful a few days before menstruation. So that's one thing. But like, I personally do believe that if you eat eggs, really nice fermented raw dairy or whatever, that can really help and assist with this process. Keep that in mind. Magnesium and manganese, those are really crucial for your brain in order for it to function. GABA is another one that is really good. We're actually adding GABA into our formula that we have, our DNA repair formula, which hopefully will come out in 2026. But there's a lot of ways that you can supplement for these. And one thing I want to bring up is supplementation. Again, you have to understand your own deficiencies and surpluses, because some chemicals feed off of each other. Sometimes in processes, there's two or more chemicals that work together. You might be deficient in one, the other two might be fine, and then you'll get a supplement and it'll feed all of the, chemicals. which then you have a normal amount of the one that you had a deficiency in. Now you've over surplus the other, chemicals due to your supplementation, and that just causes a lot. So just be very careful when it comes to supplement. Okay, that's my whole point. Be very careful when it comes to supplementing because you might be overdoing it, and in fact, most people are. If you're taking supplements every day and it's not based off of a necessity, then you're really hurting yourself more because you're going to put your body into a surplus. It's not going to like it. It's going to develop problems, and you're going to have kidney issues. Boron, iodine, and vitamin K2. These are other really good chemicals that assist with decalcification of parts of the brain, especially like the pineal gland. Iodine has been stripped of everything. I've taken vitamin K2 as supplements. They're very good. Melatonin optimization, right? So total darkness at night, no phone screens before bed, especially avoiding that blue light, right? Sleeping consistently and avoiding alcohol and caffeine. Very important. You can also get it from tart cherry juice. I don't recommend microdosing melatonin or taking melatonin. That can really strip your brain and body from the wisdom on how to create it naturally themselves. And I know a lot of people who've taken for long periods of time, and it's that's no good. That methylation support. So this is like dimethyltryptamine, DMT. So methylation support, anything B12, B6, choline. A lot of this stuff will assist with methylation and including B vitamins. So I actually have a B vitamin deficiency. I'm a Cancer, and I know a lot of people with Cancer energy who also have B vitamin deficiencies. But again, get a hair test, get a blood test. I'm not a medical doctor. Go talk to your doctor. Figure out what it is that you're deficient in. Because it's not about, again, it's not a one size fits all. That is the lie of this process. It is experiment and discover what works for you. There's not a single one route to do this properly. Some people are going to have easier access to this process than other people. Some people are going to have to work harder. Some people have made more mistakes in the past. They've drank too much. They've smoked too much. They've done too many drugs. They've had too much sex. It's a game of catch up. So just keep all of this in mind. Take it with a grain of plants that can assist with this process. Raw cacao. Any of you guys that have been on my retreats know that I make a mean cacao. I actually am pretty proud of it. I add a bunch of secret ingredients. I got a lot of really good ideas with the cacao, and a lot of people love my cacao. So, but it is a really, really good, positive, healthy, chocolate based. Chocolate. I'm not talking Hershey's chocolate. I'm talking real, authentic cacao chocolate. It's real chocolate. It's not. It's not like taking a bunch of crappy chocolate milk down. It's raw. It's the raw herb. Very. You add some honey. Very sweet. It's nice, and what it does is it really puts the body into a healthy modality. It's super good for your heart. So just keep all that in mind. Ashwagandha, mainly because it reduces cortisol and helps put you into parasympathetic mode. So, rest and digest versus fight or flight. You don't want to be in fight or flight. It's not good for you. It's not good for you in general, but it's really harmful for this process. So anything that helps relax you, but again, it has to be something that relaxes you, that doesn't take you out of your circadian rhythms, which something like pot can absolutely, cannabis can absolutely screw with your circadian rhythm. It can screw with your sleep. Sometimes it makes you sleep better, like if you smoking a nice fishy indica, you know. If you're the type of guy that likes to smoke a bunch of sativa and stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning, that's no bueno. That's not going to work very well for the holy basil. That's another one. This is again one of these stress reduction ones. Excuse me. This is another. Oh, that felt great. This is another one of those stress reduction plants that helps balance the entire body and nervous system. So definitely keep that in mind as well. I've never heard of this until now, whatever this is. This is like this little purple plant, really cute. It looks kind of like a purple jalapeno. I kind of wonder what exactly it is. So I can't really say that I recommend this. But of course, you know how AI is really, silly, especially like the modern ones these days. You have to have a really good AI tool like Astraya, which I'm going to talk about later. If you really want to spell in in your spiritual journey these days. But bacopa, gotu kola, reishi, which is a mushroom, and fermented food. Now keep in mind, I always talk about the gut-brain axis. This is super key. This is, again, where the eggs and the dairy kind of come into this, because fermented foods, a lot of which are like meats and cheeses, I wouldn't necessarily say the meats are good during this. I would say, like, it's going to talk about omegas and fish. I would say fish is probably not bad for this process. I'm not going to lie. Fish versus land animals have a completely different frequency. The Christ oil was known as a fishy oil or substance. So it really would not be crazy for me to assume that if you're going to eat fish, whether it's like raw, like sushi, or whether it's cooked, really wouldn't know what the major differences would be. But if you like fish, okay, and I'm not talking shrimp, I'm not talking, clams. Don't eat those. Okay, those are full of heavy metals. Those are just not well sourced these days. I'm talking things like, what do they call it? Organic salmon or whatever it is, like farmed properly. Salmon, cod, yellowtail, tuna, whatever, like all of those like really high quality fish that you can get that are better than the other ones. Those are probably pretty good for you for this process. Not like eating a lot of it though. I would say again, like maybe the day before your cycle starts, especially if you're a guy, because men like to eat meat. Protein really helps. Maybe experiment with eating a nice fish dinner, because I do think that like fermented foods and specific fatty foods that the body requires those omegas, it requires the tryptophan, it requires a lot of this stuff. So I would say, if you're just eating fruits and veggies, you're really like, yeah, fasting and being light during the process is great, but the days prior to that, you're not loading the body up with all the chemicals that it needs, and you're like, I'm just going to eat fruits and vegetables forever and this is going to be great. It's like, okay, like there are plenty of vegans who do it right, and they incorporate tons of really good supplements and other foods and stuff, and I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life or your body, but um, I don't think any of these diets, I don't think carnivore diet is going to give you the biophotons required. Biophotons are also really important for this process. So you need to eat fruits and veggies. But you also can't avoid meats, because meats also have the other chemicals that you need. So again, it's a balance. Like, I don't know where we've gone so wrong. Where did we go so wrong, people, with all the way that these people are crazy these days? I'm just going to stick to eating one food for the rest of my life. You know what you sound like? You sound like those kids who are like, I only want chicken nuggets. That's what you sound like to me. So not trying to pick on you, but I love you guys. I don't think any of you guys really fall into these categories here of like the crazy cuckoo ones. But God, I'll tell you, like, I'm not picking on anybody. I think that if you have the right diet for you and it works, then absolutely great. But you also, and here's the real truth, unless you have access to medical equipment, you don't know what your diet, you don't know what any of your routines are really doing to your health. You don't, until it's too late. It's unless you're getting checked up all the time and you trust your doctor, and it's a good doctor that's not trying to just feed you pills. You really don't know what your diet does long term. You really don't know any of this, So some people can get away with drinking coffee every single day, and some people can't. Some people can get away with being an alcoholic, and some people can't. It's just the way that it is. So, supporting the fluid system of the body, another really big one here, as we're kind of moving through this. Cerebrospinal fluid is the carrier of the substance. It's not the substance itself. There are parts of CSF that kind of bleed into this process, but it really is the Jordan River of the process. So you have to have good blood flow. You have to have good CSF flow. Omega 3s, again, that's where like the fish comes in, or anything that does have omega 3s. Again, potentially supplementing, that could be important too. Breath, vagus nerve, and CSF pumping, and again, this is like just some guy stuff. Sleep, super important for sleep, because the CSF regulation for sleep. Sleep is really underrated with this process. I think that more people deep sleep. That doesn't mean you need to sleep for 10 or 12 hours. It just means like in the 8 hours that you do sleep, make sure that you get restful, full REM cycles, because your brain needs to go through the washing machine. It's like every night your brain is going through the rinse cycle. Imagine you load up your dishes in the dishwasher and you hit that button. Now, when your sleep is interrupted, or if you're not getting good sleep, it's almost as if you're opening the dishwasher in the middle of its thing, and all the water stopped, and it's dripping, and there's soap everywhere, and it's hot, and you're like, now this is a good time to start using my glasses and my cups. It's in my plates and shit. It's like, no, you now have soapy, hot, crappy. Like, you're gonna have to take that shit. You're gonna have to wash it in the sink, and then you're gonna have to dry it with your hands, with a towel, in order for you to even use it, right? So it's like, that's exactly what you're doing when you don't get good sleep. I know that's a silly analogy. I'm gonna say sexual energy. We all know this. We have to be healthy. We have to retain ourselves during these processes. Women, during your ovulation, obviously that's where you're at your horny. Men, a lot of men claim that when the moon goes in their sun sign, very horny. And I get it. It makes perfect sense. So just keep in mind, again, it's a balancing act for men. And I've experienced this for men. They'll say, take ashwagandha, like I just did. I told you, hey, ashwagandha is great. However, ashwagandha can also raise testosterone levels. So you might be relaxed, but you also might be horny, So it's like, you've got to find what works for you. Sometimes ashwagandha for certain men makes them rabid, So it's like, you don't want that, obviously. So this is like one of those things you got to find balance with. So long story short, here's where you can, you get to see the AI at work. It put fasting twice on this list. So silly. I don't even know what anointing means in terms of like this verb, but every real tradition discovered this. Fasting, again, if you're a woman, you have to fast different from men. It's just it's got different plumbing, different mechanisms. Prayer, silence, those kind of go hand in hand. Very important to get the the brain waves going. Chanting, that's more of a physical wave vibration through your own voice that can help you attune your frequency. Incense for smells, biochemical release, breath work. And then it says darkness, yes, but then it says oil, fasting, inversion, fasting again, inversion, and anointing. I don't know what that means. Okay. This is why, just to wrap up this video, this is why having a proper AI tool is super important, because so many people today are relying on AI and it's just not working for them. So let me kind of show you guys what I have that I can offer you. First, starting with what I can offer you. If you go to my website, teampsycosmos.org, I don't know if you guys know this, but I am a really good astrologer. I pride myself on my astrology capabilities, and I find that I'm able to help a lot of people with astrology. If you go to my website, teampsycosmos.org, you click the shop, and if you scroll down in the shop, which, by the way, this shop is probably not going to be here next year because it's really expensive to run this website. I can't afford it. So this really helps me if you guys decide to support me. But check out the freebies that I have. Okay, I've got a lot of freebies already on this site, including the 2026 free astrology guide. So this is my free gift to you. It'll be on the website all the rest of this year for the next few weeks. My 2026 free astrology guide goes into giving you guys a couple pages of what I'm expecting for 2026. Now, if you prefer to support me, you can actually purchase the $46 astrology assessment, which is my full guide. And that gives you pages upon pages. It does a monthly breakdown, gives you all the data you need to know about the year of the fire horse, which is what we're stepping into. It's $46 because it's 20 plus 26. But here's a big deal that I'm going to do for you. Okay. If you want a community, all right, if you're looking to get that guide for cheaper, come join my school. For $29 a month, you can sign up just for 1 month. If you just want to come in, sign up, get the guide and bounce, that's fine. But I've added my 2026 guide as a full course here in the school. And the school online community is great. We have 60 members. It's very active. A lot of people are constantly talking, asking questions. But getting back to the AI thing, if community is not your thing, if higher learning is not your thing, I do have an AI tool called Astraya. I've been working on this for over a year. I released it this past August. We have over 70 users. This thing blew up and people are loving this. So go check this out. Kimberly, one of my good friends in my school, she actually made a comment just yesterday saying that Astraya has been a game changer in her spiritual journey. I won't, get into the depths of her comment, but towards the end of it, she basically says that I'm posting this here to recommend diving deep with this tool and may take you places beyond your own awareness. So my AI tool is helping people develop a deeper balance in their spiritual journey, they're getting a lot more information. And this tool will break down your daily astrological signature. It'll give you an alchemy calendar for you to use so that you can track your alchemy cycle. And if you get the advanced package, you'll get the full astrology breakdown day by day with all the proper information, week by week, month by month. It gives you tons of data. And it's a lot of this data is skewed specifically towards you. You can input your goals, what you're looking to do with your life right now, where you're at with your spiritual journey, and you can ask it, tons of questions. You can have conversations with it. There's a voice optionality here down at the bottom. This tool is wonderful. I'm working on so many expansions for it. A lot of people are loving it, including the people in my community. So come check this out, guys. I've got free stuff. I've got stuff that you can pay for to help support me because times are really tough right now and I'm getting by. So, but I love you guys. I can't wait until I see you guys in the next video where we're probably going to discuss something super cool. I might try to do an every other day video because I know a lot of people were complaining that I am releasing videos too quickly. But I love you guys. I've got tons of free stuff for you. Please come check it out, and I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.